Have you ever looked in the mirror and whispered to yourself, I just don't feel like the man I used to be? The energy fades, the passion dims, the confidence quietly slips away. But what if I told you, it may not be aging that's stealing your vitality? For many men over 60, it's something far more simple and far more fixable. Today, I'll share the story of men like you and reveal 3 essential vitamins that can reignite your energy, performance, and confidence. Stay with me. This may change everything. You see, aging doesn't happen overnight. One morning, you wake up feeling just a little more tired. Weeks later, you notice you're short of breath after simple walks. Intimacy becomes less frequent. The spark you once carried slowly dims, and you wonder if this is simply how life goes after 60. But here's the truth, it's not inevitable for many men. Your body is quietly starving, not for more sleep or exercise, but for 3 specific nutrients it once had plenty of. Without them, your circulation weakens, your energy tanks, your confidence fades, often without any warning signs. And most doctors, they rarely check for these deficiencies. But after helping thousands of men over the past 30 years, I've seen remarkable transformations, not with expensive drugs or complicated treatments, but by simply restoring these critical building blocks. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through these 3 essential vitamins and the real stories of men who turned their lives around. Let's begin. What if one missing vitamin was quietly sabotaging your circulation, your energy, even your intimacy, and you never even knew? Not long ago, I met Jack, a 69-year-old retired Army veteran from Texas. Jack sat across from me with his hands folded, his voice steady but heavy. "Doc, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I eat right, I walk when I can, but lately, I just don't feel like myself anymore." He paused for a moment, looked down, and finally whispered the words so many men struggle to say, "I still love my wife, but my body, it's not cooperating." Jack's story is far more common than you might think. Surprisingly, the culprit hiding beneath his struggles wasn't some complicated disease or irreversible aging, it was a severe vitamin D deficiency. You've likely heard of vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin. But for men over 60, it's far more than that. The hidden switch keeps your blood vessels open, your circulation strong, and your confidence intact. When you're younger, your body naturally produces plenty of vitamin D whenever your skin is exposed to sunlight. But as you age, that ability drops dramatically, sometimes by as much as 75%. Your skin simply can't convert sunlight into vitamin D as it used to. And here's where the chain reaction begins. Without enough vitamin D, your body struggles to produce nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing your blood vessels. Without nitric oxide, blood struggles to flow freely to your heart and to every vital part of your masculinity. Over time, this leads to weaker erections, lower stamina, fatigue, and a growing sense of distance from the intimacy you once enjoyed. When we tested Jack's blood, his vitamin D levels were dangerously low, at just 18 nanograms per milliliter. For reference, most experts recommend levels of at least 40 to 60 nanogram milliliter for optimal vascular and hormonal health. But Jack isn't alone. A recent study showed that nearly 42% of adults over 60 in the US are deficient in vitamin D, even those who think they're eating well and staying active. And yet, many doctors overlook it entirely during routine checkups. The good news? Vitamin D deficiency is one of the most correctable issues you'll face. For Jack, we started with a simple plan. Daily morning walks, 15 to 20 minutes under the soft Texas sun. Dietary tweaks, adding salmon, tuna, and fortified dairy into his meals. Targeted supplementation, high-quality vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, at 4,000 IU per day, not the less effective D2 form often sold cheaply over the counter. Within 8 weeks, Jack returned to my office with a spark I hadn't seen before. "Doc, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I've got gas in the tank again. My walks are easier. My wife, she notices too." This wasn't magic. It was biology, finally supported by the fuel his body had been begging for. But here's the key. Vitamin D may unlock your circulation, but it's only the first piece of the puzzle. Without enough energy to carry that blood where it needs to go, your results will always fall short. And that's where the second vitamin, the energy generator, steps in. You sleep 8 hours, you eat your meals, and yet you wake up exhausted. Why? The answer may be hiding inside your blood, and it's more common than you think. Not long after helping Jack, another gentleman walked into my office, Samuel, 74, a retired long-haul truck driver from Ohio. His handshake was firm, but his eyes told a different story. Tired, unfocused, as if some invisible weight was constantly pressing him down. "Doc, I don't understand. I'm sleeping plenty, eating decent meals, but every day feels like I'm running on fumes. I lose my train of thought mid-sentence, and when it comes to being intimate, I simply don't have the drive." Samuel's struggle wasn't from laziness, nor was it simply old age. After a simple blood test, the real culprit appeared clearly. Vitamin B12 deficiency. B12 is one of the unsung heroes for men over 60. It's not just about energy, it's about survival at the cellular level. Your body uses vitamin B12 for producing healthy red blood cells that carry oxygen to every muscle and organ, including your sexual organs. Building and protecting nerve fibers keeps your brain sharp and your reflexes strong. Supporting DNA synthesis, ensuring every cell in your body works as it should. When you don't have enough B12, your body begins to sputter like an engine running out of fuel. Fatigue creeps in. Brain fog blurs your memory. Muscle strength fades. Libido quietly diminishes. The scary part? B12 deficiency often builds slowly, silently, for years before symptoms appear. According to a Harvard study, nearly 20% of American adults over 60 have suboptimal B12 levels, even while eating healthy diets. And there's a reason for this hidden epidemic. As we age, our stomachs produce less stomach acid, which is critical for absorbing B12 from food. Medications many seniors take, like metformin for diabetes or acid reducers for heartburn, further block B12 absorption. That means even if you're eating eggs, dairy, or red meat regularly, you may slowly become deficient without realizing it. When Samuel's test results returned, his mean corpuscular volume (MCV) was elevated, a classic sign of early B12 deficiency. And though his total B12 appeared borderline normal, his active B12, the form his body could use, was far too low. The fix? Simple but precise. Samuel began daily supplementation with methylcobalamin, the most bioavailable form of B12, at 1,000 mg. We reviewed his medications and adjusted those interfering with absorption. And after just a few weeks, the shift was remarkable. He returned, this time smiling wide. "Doc, I feel awake again. My mind's sharper, my energy's back, and, well, my wife's smiling too." B12 didn't just restore Samuel's energy. It restored his presence, his clarity, and his confidence. But as powerful as energy and circulation are, there's still one more missing piece. One that shields your testosterone, protects your heart, and keeps your manhood thriving. And that's precisely where we're headed next. You've worked hard to build your life, but quietly, inflammation may be tearing it down, draining your testosterone, stiffening your blood vessels, and stealing your vitality without a single warning light. A few months after Samuel, I met Charles, a 72-year-old retired mathematics professor from Chicago. He was sharp, articulate, and one of the most disciplined men I've met. "Doc, I watch my weight, I eat my vegetables, I walk daily, but I still feel off. My muscles aren't bouncing back like they used to. I feel flat, not depressed exactly, but like I've lost my edge. My wife notices it too." Charles wasn't tired like Samuel, nor was his circulation failing like Jack. His battle was deeper, hormonal and vascular. And the silent thief was oxidative stress. As we age, our bodies accumulate years of microscopic damage. Tiny unstable molecules, called free radicals, attack your cells. Inflammation builds quietly in your blood vessels. Testosterone production slows. Blood flow becomes more restricted. Not enough to cause a heart attack, but enough to chip away at your strength, mood, and performance. This is where vitamin E steps in, acting like a shield against these invisible attacks. Vitamin E is one of nature's most potent antioxidants, protecting your endothelial cells are the inner lining of your blood vessels, keeping them flexible and elastic. Leydig cells, the cells in your testes responsible for producing testosterone. The immune system regulates inflammatory pathways that often worsen with age. Without enough vitamin E, your blood vessels become rigid, your testosterone slowly declines, and your sexual function follows suit. What's concerning is that many men like Charles, who eat healthy, still fall short. Why? Because much of the modern American diet lacks sufficient natural vitamin E sources. Processed foods strip out natural tocopherols, Oils used in frying degrade vitamin E. Even so-called multivitamins often use synthetic DL-alpha tocopherol, which lacks the full spectrum of vitamin E compounds your body needs. When we tested Charles, his total testosterone was borderline low. His inflammatory markers, like C-reactive protein CRP, were creeping higher, and his vitamin E levels, suboptimal. The solution was both simple and targeted. We added mixed tocopherol supplements, containing alpha, beta, gamma, and delta forms at 400 IU day. He incorporated more natural sources: almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, Swiss chard, and extra virgin olive oil. Combined with his existing habits, these minor tweaks created a powerful shield his body desperately needed. 3 months later, Charles returned with a calm, steady energy. "Doc, I feel balanced again. My mind is sharper, my motivation is back, and my wife says I'm finally smiling like myself again." Vitamin E didn't work alone, but it protected our progress with vitamin D and B12. It allowed his testosterone to function more efficiently, his blood vessels to stay youthful, and his vitality to return. Now, we've addressed the 3 pillars: circulation, energy, hormonal balance. But what if I told you, when combined correctly, these 3 vitamins don't just help, they amplify each other, unlocking transformations far greater than taking them in isolation? That's precisely what we'll explore next. Individually, these vitamins support your health, but when combined, they create a ripple effect that can restore the man you once knew yourself to be. Not long after helping Charles, I had the pleasure of working with Edward, a 67-year-old retired bakery owner from Pennsylvania. He had a warm handshake and a gentle humor that instantly filled the room. But behind his smile, Edward carried a quiet frustration. "Doc, I've been trying everything. I started vitamin D a year ago, tried some B12 last winter, even added a little vitamin E last month. But nothing seems to fully click. Am I missing something?" Edward wasn't doing anything wrong. He was doing something most men try: addressing one issue at a time. But what Edward didn't realize, and many doctors fail to explain, is that the real power lies not in individual solutions, but in how these vitamins interact inside your body. Think of your vitality like a 3-cylinder engine. One cylinder powers circulation, another fuels your energy system, the third protects your hormones and blood vessels. If even one cylinder misfires, the whole machine struggles. But when all 3 fire in rhythm, the engine returns to life. Here's how that synergy works. Vitamin D stimulates nitric oxide, relaxing your blood vessels and improving circulation, allowing rich oxygenated blood to flow to your heart, brain, and reproductive organs. Vitamin B12 ensures your red blood cells are healthy and abundant, carrying that oxygen efficiently through those now open vessels. Vitamin E is your antioxidant defense, protecting the blood vessels and testosterone-producing cells from oxidative stress and inflammation. Something began to shift when Edward first combined all 3 and in the proper forms. His daily routine became beautifully simple. Morning walk under the Pennsylvania sun. Vitamin D3 support. Protein-rich breakfast with his methylcobalamin B12 supplement. Handful of almonds and spinach salad at lunch. Fortified with high-quality mixed tocopherols, vitamin E. We weren't chasing miracles, but restoring what time and modern life had quietly depleted. 3 months later, Edward returned to my office. His words still echo in my memory. "Doc, it feels like my engine finally caught its rhythm again. I wake up rested. My mind's sharp. My wife, well, let's just say she's noticed too." His transformation wasn't unusual. I've seen it repeatedly. Not from fancy medications or complicated protocols, but from finally giving the body the raw materials it's been begging for. And this is what most men over 60 never hear. It's rarely one single fix. The harmony of restoring circulation, energy, and hormonal balance unlocks real, lasting vitality. Now that you understand the power of synergy, you may wonder, how do I put all of this into a simple daily plan that works for me? That's precisely what we'll cover next. A step-by-step routine you can start tomorrow morning. You've carried the weight of years on your shoulders, but what if today becomes the day you start lifting it off? As you've seen through Jack, Samuel, Charles, and Edward's stories, these challenges aren't a life sentence. The fading energy, the quiet frustration, the sense that you've lost a part of yourself, they're not simply because you're aging. Often, they're the result of simple deficiencies. Vitamin D. reigniting circulation and blood flow. Vitamin B12, restoring the fuel your brain and muscles crave. Vitamin E, shielding your testosterone, your vessels, and your strength. Individually, they help, but together, they empower you to reclaim your vitality, fully, confidently, and naturally. Now, my friend, the next step belongs to you. You've already done something many men never do. You've listened and learned. Now it's time to act. Start your morning walk. Clean up your plate. Add the right supplements in the right forms, consistently. If today's video resonated with you, please tap that like button to let me know this content is helping. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're ready to start your vitality journey, or a 0 if you have questions or need more guidance. And don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt, science-backed advice for men over 60. You're not done yet, my friend. The best chapter may still be ahead.